All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about one of the most unsettling battles anyone can face, a war that's fought entirely inside your own head. It's this conflict of thoughts and emotions that feels like a constant raging storm.
Just let that sink in for a second. What really happens when your mind is telling you two things that are polar opposites, but both feel 100% true? It's a question that gets right to the heart of what we're exploring today.
And that, right there, is the trap of cognitive dissonance. For people with borderline personality disorder, this isn't just some abstract idea. It's a daily, lived reality. It's the core of the mental storm we're about to try and navigate.
So let's be super clear here. This is so much more than just feeling conflicted. What we're talking about is like a mental earthquake. Cognitive dissonance is that violent shake you feel when two of your deepest beliefs just crash head-on. So, the clinical definition is basically this. It's that intense, gut-wrenching discomfort you get when your brain is trying to hold on to two ideas that just fundamentally don't work together. And our brains, they just can't stand that level of contradiction.
And this just nails the conflict perfectly. Imagine believing both of these things with every fiber of your being. One part of you is whispering, "I deserve love," but at the exact same time, a louder voice is just screaming, "I am unlovable." Which one's the truth? Your mind is screaming that they both are.
Now here's the real kicker. For most of us, maybe we feel this kind of intense conflict once in a while. But for someone with BPD, this internal war, this battle of two truths, it's the constant, grinding soundtrack to their entire life.
Okay, so where does this war actually play out? Let's get into the main battleground, which is often our closest relationships, and something even deeper, the very core of our own identity. You ever love someone so much that the thought of losing them is just terrifying? That's one side of the coin. This desperate, all-consuming need to stay connected, the feeling that if this person left, you literally would not survive it.
And then, bam, here's the other side, held with the exact same level of certainty. It's not just a fear, it's a conviction. Every text that goes unanswered for a little too long, every tiny shift in their tone, it all feels like absolute proof that the abandonment you dread is already happening.
So, which one do you believe? How can you possibly choose when both feel so undeniably, bone-deep true? That's the impossible question the mind is forced to grapple with day in and day out, and it just creates this relentless spiral of anxiety. And this whole conflict, it goes even deeper than our relationships. It goes right for the foundation of who we are. One moment you might feel this flash of clarity, like, okay, I know who I am. But the very next, it all dissolves into this terrifying feeling of being nothing, a total void. That constant whiplash is just unbelievably exhausting. You know, all that relentless tension, it has to go somewhere. Something's got to give. And there comes a point where that internal pressure just becomes too much to bear. When the silent war inside your head turns into a deafening roar, that's the breaking point.
So the first instinct might be to just cling, to hold on for dear life, to do absolutely anything to stop that abandonment you're so sure is coming, to secure that connection you need so badly.
But in the very same moment, another impulse is just screaming at you to run, to get away from the person causing this pain, to leave them before they can leave you, to protect yourself by getting out first.
So you've got these two opposite commands firing at once, and the whole system just overloads. Your mind is completely trapped, and your body responds the only way it knows how, with pure, overwhelming panic.
And then, the collapse. The sheer mental and emotional exhaustion from fighting this impossible battle just becomes too much. The system shuts down. So in that moment, what do? Which impossible path do you choose? It comes down to this devastating question. Which lie would you rather live with? The one that could lead to heartbreak, or the one that pretty much guarantees you'll be alone?
Okay, so after you hit that breaking point, what's left? Is there any way out? Well, there's no magic button, but there are absolutely powerful strategies you can use to navigate the storm and actually survive it.
So how do you do it? How do you survive? It's really about creating a little bit of space for yourself. First, you just have to name it, call it what it is. Then you start to challenge that extreme all-or-nothing thinking. From there, you work on grounding yourself, bringing yourself back to the present moment. And, maybe most importantly, you reach out for support. You know, wars are never meant to be fought alone.
And look, it is so important to understand the goal here. These strategies aren't meant to magically make the storm disappear. It's more like they help you build a shelter inside yourself.
They give you the strength to stand right in the middle of all that chaos without shattering into a million pieces. And as we start to wrap this up, I really want you to hear this powerful way of reframing it. Cognitive dissonance is not a character flaw. It is not a sign of weakness. If anything, it's proof of how deeply a person can feel, how much they can care. It's evidence of the incredible lengths the mind will go to just to try and protect itself.
So I'll leave you with this final question from the source material. If your heart was screaming two opposite truths at you, and both felt real, which one would you choose? Or could you dare to just hold both, to live in that tension, that paradox, without completely losing yourself? That's a question worth thinking about.